Here again, God spare life, we're back, we're black, and we're still typical, topical, Afrotropical.
In this case as well.
Yeah, because she reported to the council.
Who's she?
Susan Erickson.
She features a lot in this case, doesn't she?
Yeah,
Okay.
So she made a report, to Mr. Bill Crocker, who informed her what to do and what actions to take, But there was a thing also that bothered me, it didn't start there, because what people need to know also, and this is what bothered me, even to this day, I'm talking to you, Cyrus, to the public, to everybody, and I hope somebody from the council is listening also.
I do believe
you cannot have a head teacher in a school making comments about children, in such a way, because when I started the first session with year 2 on January the 7th, she said to me, okay, she doesn't know how I'm going to manage with these children because it seems like some of the children haven't got a brain. She wonder what kind of home they came from.
93.2 BCFM www.org.uk. This is the words of Ripton Linsey. This is not the words of BCFM studio. We don't have Susan in here to say this. But there is, like I said, there's also a head teacher that's married to someone in the BNP party in Bristol. Well, it's not for me to name and shame the people. So if you're married to a British national member and you happen to be in a fortunate position of leader of the school, head of the school, is this anything surprising?
Oh no, that's opening up another venture in my eyes.
I'm saying it's Bristol Council. Have they employed a lot of people like this?
Yeah, it makes the one that still asks a lot of questions, man.
What's hurting me when someone's making a statement like that? You wonder if they've got a brain in their head.
Yeah.
Well, obviously they have their human beings.
Yeah. And
it's obviously you need to look at your teaching skills and why you've not activated their brains and why your courses aren't stimulating their brains, or maybe it's your bigoted attitude and your racist attitude. It's like a cat won't come to a person when it knows it's going to get a beating.
But
like half.
What bothers me, and as I say, I do hope the public is listening, and I hope the council is listening, and the schools is listening, and teachers. What bothered me with that comment, I agree that 3/4 of the class were black children, but it's not a matter of fact. I'm not bringing black and white or Asian into this picture right now. It's children for starters, okay? Yeah. And at the same time, if you're looking down on children like that, in that sense, the children have got no hope of moving forward. You understand? So it's like they're doomed already.
Well, again, as I keep saying, if you've got someone that's affiliated with, and I'm not implying Susan Erickson's affiliated with the BNP or whatsoever, but if you have got people that lean towards that, well, black people aren't going to progress. They don't want that. They're not the BNP party. No matter how nice you dress them up, they're not here for the benefit of black people. They wouldn't be doing their job. It's like saying the SS are going to take care of the Jews. Would you really trust them? Would you really trust the SS to teach a school of Jewish children?
But
we as black people, we're merrily, we just gag kids and let's enroll them in that school. And Susan Erickson's a head mistress. What school does she go to? What school is she at? Well, now the court rulings that have made these rulings, we need to know these schools so we can avoid taking our children to these schools and finding other schools where they haven't got a racist policy and people can learn together in harmony. I'm sure that's got to be the best way through.
And another thing I want to make this clear also, if it was the other way around in my book, if it's a black teacher in a white school making the comments, she need to be sorted out.
But it wasn't. But the thing was,
it wasn't.
So we don't need to be bringing that up. We haven't always got to equate. It wasn't. It was a white teacher in a black school making them statements, which quite clearly it was black and white. You got the rulers in front of us. It wasn't a black teacher. So I don't know why we use that. See how humble this brother is. No. Let's stick to the facts. It was Susan. It was Susan and Bristol Council. We're getting sidetracked. Let's stick to the fact, Mr. Linsey. We got Dennis Brown, and here's the facts. Dennis Brown and Aswell and the Promised Land. For all them BNP out there, we're not going, we're staying here, this is better. This is the Promised Land, we got a gyro in. Oh, sorry, you never, that's went on the map.
Hard, deep, hard.
And brand new council houses as well. In Bristol. How did this leaves me with a nasty little taste, an insipid little taste, because it seems bigger than just the school. It seems that there's a lot of people with some, and I really hate to use this word, racist tendencies.
Well, I think that's the perfect word. Institutionalized racial tendencies.
Well, I even think
nothing's changed, mate. Nothing's changed.
But do you think this word, like they say, institutionalised racism, it kind of makes it, oh well, that's okay then, it's institutionalised racism, we can forgive that, you know, it's not a good old blatant racism, it's been part of the system for many a year.
That's the paradox, isn't it, to what you were just chatting about before, because certain people want to claim completely natural things are wrong, and then stuff that we've just invented, like racism, is inevitable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? People talk about racism like, as you just said, oh, it's institutionalized, oh, it's just what happens when big numbers of people. No, it's not what happens. You get 1,000 babies of a different colour, and you raise them, and no one else raises them. They raise each other, they come through, they don't come out racist. Do you know what I mean? It's not a natural thing to be racist. So when you hear things about this, it's just the proof that we're not mad. Do you know what I mean? And these things are in the system.
And it's the brainwashing which just starts from the school, and then there you go. Where did this take place? In the school. Because, so it's just prime example.
You know, another danger to this also. After I got evicted, you know, I got sent out the next day after, and I need to know, somebody need to correct me on this or inform me on this. But what I understand Susan did was bringing the educational psychologist the day, you know, talking to the children, and I think that's a thing where you gotta need permission from the parents for starters. So I want to know how she gets away with that. And plus, you know,
I'd like to step in there, Ripton. There's some schools that they can tell your children to don't get abortions and after sex pills, and you don't have to inform the parents. This is again, I don't know what the governments are setting up, but it's absolutely been happening in Cardiff. We covered it on the show the other day. Girls under 13 years old given the morning after tablet, and the teacher telling them keep quiet, don't tell your parents.
I mean,
and on top of that also, you know, bringing in the way I view it, you know, I as a black male teacher, you know, you could say a role model also. You take me out of the system, and on top of that, you're gonna bring in an officer, you know, a white officer telling our black children on how, if people touch it this way, report it and all of that. You know, you're confusing children. And it's like they're going to see us now as, you know, just a walkover. They ain't going to have respect for even their own people. Well, so children, you can build perimeters around them or confuse them, and that's what they're doing to these children. And yet they talk about children this as that. It's us as adults are the real problem. Let's get this straight.
Real talk.
That is the one.
Let's get back to the statement that you said, I don't think they've got a brain in their head, or worse than that, have they got a brain in their head? By a person from academia
What's a person like that doing as a head teacher? How does that?
She's making statements like that, and she's a head teacher.
How does that filter through?
Well, that just says it, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? Well, I mean, what level of education has she got?
Well, Mr. Crocker agrees with it. All the way along on this, if you want, Bill Crocker agrees with it on every step of the way.
Well, I mean, I feel like saying something that hasn't been said yet, and that is, this stuff is done specifically on purpose. This stuff is done scientifically on purpose. This is what my opinion is that all of the things that we talk about on the Typical Topical, like Mike just said then, indoctrination starts with the school. Do you know what I mean? All of the things that we have to suffer on a daily basis, we only let slide because we've been through similar schooling systems and had to come through ourselves. No one here had the perfect schooling.
You said it yourself. I've heard it many a time from black men and black sisters. Oh, that black man scares me.
You know,
where do I get that chat from?
You know,
where am I get that chat from? Where do I learn that? That's called learned behaviour. What it's called? Yeah, and no, trust us who put you in ships and took you from your own country, indoctrinated you with our religion, our faith.
But with all what's going on,